All right, thank you everyone for joining today for the contract UPS contract enforcement webinar that we're having. We have a bunch of good speakers today. They're going to cover a bunch of topics from 9.5 rights explained, the admins and specialists that we're organizing, feeder subcontracting language, reoptimization of the network. We're going to touch on Surepost again and hear what they're doing in Local 135. Contract enforcement trainings. We're going to hear again how easy that is to get those set up at your locals and have one. And we're going to end it up with a Q&A. So we're hopefully you all ask some good questions here. I know you will, and we'll get as many of those as we can at the end. And for now, though, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Johnny Sawyer, who's going to be speaking about the 9.5 rights. And Johnny leads the package division every day in war with this company, and nobody better than him to give us his wisdom on exactly how we can these 9.5 rights apply to everybody. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, Rob, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I want to start out by just a quick shout out to our good brothers and sisters at Local 638. We had a great steward seminar yesterday. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate the invitation. We had Vice President James Wright there, Vice President Tom Erickson, and I think it was a great seminar. We did some training. We did a mock panel with the sitting arbitrator, and we talked about that. I thought it was a very successful seminar. Congratulations to them. As far as 9.5, there seems to be a little bit of confusion, and that's justified because during the 18 to 23 contract, the 9.5 language was changed based on the 22.4s. Any building that had 22.4s, all the RPCDs enjoyed unlimited 9.5 rights. Obviously, we got rid of the 22.4s in 23 last year. And we also, in doing that, we protected those RPCDs that had unlimited 9.5 rights due to the fact that 22.4s were in their building. So we put specific language that grandfathered them in that they would continue to enjoy those rights. And that it protected them because there were no more 22.4s, obviously. So, but a little history on 9.5s. There was a time when 9.5s, you actually had to file one grievance just to initiate getting paid. So you didn't get paid on the first grievance. You didn't get paid till the second. We've made a lot of improvements over the years in the 9.5 language. So those people that were grandfathered, that were RPCDs in a building that had 22.4s, they will continue to have 9.5 rights moving forward. If we could put that flyer up that Brian Tierney and our Strategic Initiatives Department put together to help out with this, you can see that our PCD prior to August 1st in a building that had 22.4 drivers, you have unlimited. So there are some other folks who will have 9.5 rights according to Article 37. Now, this language has been in the contract some time. The only reason that this didn't come into play at last contract was because of the 22.4. So this is old language that's been around for a while. The 3 conditions that you have to meet if you don't have 4 years of seniority. So you see RPCD prior to August 1st in a building that had no 22.4 drivers. So those people would not be grandfathered, and they would be subject to that language you see below, Article 37, Section 1C. And you see, if you're a former 22.4 who was converted August 1st of 23, you would also have to meet that eligibility requirements, either be on a bid the entire week, be assigned or bid to a run for the full week, to be assigned or bid to a run for the full week and the company pulls you off that bid, or have 4 years of seniority as a full-time package driver. So former 22.4s are going to be subject to that language, and new RPCDs hired after August 1st of 23 would also have to meet that criteria. So we're going to be putting this out, I believe. I'll clarify that with Rob, but I believe we're going to be putting this out in a toolkit to the locals. I think it makes it clear exactly who gets unlimited 9.5 and who has to meet the criteria in 37(1)(c). So hopefully that clears up some things, some misconceptions out there. If you have any questions, obviously contact your steward, your business agent, and they will be able to answer these questions. If they can't, they can always, they know they can get in touch with us in the package division or one of our reps in the package division. So moving on from 9.5, I want to talk just a minute about the specialists and admins, the organizing campaign that we've got going. I would be remiss not to recognize the work of Local 89, who actually started this campaign. And they started it, they were within about an hour of striking UPS at Worldport and Centennial Hub. So that was just about to happen. The company blinked and entered into an MOA with us that gave us card check neutrality and recognition. And they obviously did that because they didn't want each local around the country organizing and then striking them for recognition. It also gave us a very clean, quick path to get these folks into the bargaining unit and increase our bargaining power, looking toward our next contract. So Local 89 got it started. We did the MOA. Then we also negotiated, right on the heels of that, we negotiated an addendum to cover these new folks. It's a great addendum. They're going to get the raises. If they certify in time, they're going to get the 275. They're going to get the GWIs. They're going to get the free insurance. They're going to get a pension instead of a retirement plan that they're in now. So there's some huge gains in there. But as I said, Local 89 paved the road for that. And we have now put those out all over the country. But this entire campaign is being coordinated by Chris Roselle and his folks in the organizing department. So at this time, I want to introduce a couple of the organizers that are working hands-on with this. And that is the lead organizer, Kenny Rail, and Central Region Coordinator, Raul Alfaro. Go ahead, fellas.
Well, thank you, everybody. Good afternoon to most of you and good morning to some of you. My name is Raul Alfaro, Central Region Coordinator. As Johnny has said, I want to give a really great shout out to Local 89 for getting this started, the tremendous job they've done there. I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing, and Kenny Rail is going to jump in a second also. As we're going around, reaching out to all the locals about these specialists and getting them organized. Some of the questions that have come to us has been, it's been a little bit difficult to reach out to the specialists. They haven't been able to find them in some instances. So a few suggestions that we like to make is that, when you go into these locals, the facilities, and you use your BAs, you use your stewards, some of these specialists that have signed up, please use them. Use them as a avenue to reach out to their coworkers. In some places, they've actually been very, very successful. Because one of the things that we've got to remember and remind these specialists that there's no fear here. The addendum is there. UPS has given us these lists that we have, and basically, if you work with one of these specialists, go up to them and explain to them, look, there's no fear here. We're not, you don't have to go through a tremendous weird process of any kind of, threats or anything like that. It's basically going up to them and explaining what the addendum is, what the benefits are, in a very simple process. Look, all you have to do is sign up and we get everything in, then we take care of the rest. It goes, and then the process goes forward. But I also like to make a suggestion to any local that's having any type of issues. Please reach out to Kenny or myself. We're looking to help in any way we possibly can, give you all the tools that you need, help you and suggest whatever we possibly can. Please reach out to us. We're there. The organizing department is there under the direction of Chris Roselle. So if anything comes up, any questions you might have, please bring it to us. This moment, I'm going to shoot over to our lead organizer, Kenny Rail, who's been, he's been the one on the ground. He's doing a tremendous job, doing everything he possibly can to help. So Kenny, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, so I really appreciate it. How you doing, everybody? This is an exciting campaign, a tremendous opportunity for this group of workers. You know, normally when we're talking with workers, it's you can't really promise what they're going to get, right? You got to negotiate an agreement after this, you get recognized. But this has turned everything upside down, and you know, you think it would be easy, but we are running into some a little bit of fear and things, right? And to Raul's point, you know, it's very important these workers understand that these terms are already agreed to, right? This is a set of terms that covers their position that's been identified by both the union and the company, and all they need to do is reach majority support to be recognized, you know. And doing that, we do have a list of titles of workers that are covered by this agreement, but specific names has been a challenge, and some of these workers are tucked away and hidden all over the network, and they're hard to find, right? So very important, use your business agents, your union stewards, rank and file members, and reach out to us, and we can assist you guys in any way that we can, the organizing department, as far as, you know, guiding you through that process. But there is a sense of urgency, because in the addendum, it talks about the wage increase for the contractual year in which you are recognized, right? So unfortunately, if we get past August 1st, we've missed that 275 for the contractual year of 2023. So there is some urgency to try to get this done as soon as possible, because the whole process itself will take a period of time to get recognized with the arbitrator and such. So again, reach out to us at the organizing department. I'll put my phone number in the chat for anybody that would like to reach out for any help, you know, guiding through that, organizing this group of workers. I'll give it back to Johnny. I don't think I have Raul has anything else. Give it back to Johnny.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Appreciate that great job you guys are doing. And we've got organizers in the field at the larger locals. We've got locals that are themselves. They're out there organizing. We get the Chris Roselle calls them the onesies and twosies. So we've got locals, our reps in the package division are helping out with that. If they need anything, look, this company doesn't make anything easy for us. We don't get anything unless we go get it. And this is no different. So, I mean, I've had to make calls to where the managers were not being cooperative with the business agent in the building, actually showing them where these people are. So it's always going to be work with UPS. There's no doubt. So having said that, it's my pleasure to introduce a guy who was on the National Negotiating Committee as a rank and filer. And most of you know that we had more rank and filers this time than we've ever had before. And frankly, this is the first time the rank and filers in these negotiations actually participated. And Dean will tell you that they had a chance to vote. Sean wanted to hear what they had to say. And this was Sean and Fred's vision that we were going to put the serious rank and filers on this committee. We had about 25 and they all did a great job. We had on each subcommittee did a great job. So it's my pleasure to introduce one of those guys, one of the best, and that's Dean Doss.
Thank you, Johnny. Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is Dean Doss. I'm a feeder driver and a steward working in local 63 currently out of our San Bernardino building for a few more weeks. And I was a rank and file member, and I'm a rank and file member of the Contract Enforcement Committee that's ongoing. As Johnny said, in 2023, I had the opportunity and I had the honor to be part of the national contract negotiations as a rank and file member. And as Johnny remarked, there was quite a few rank and file members there at the negotiations. And we weren't just there as token window dressing. We were called upon. We were asked for our suggestions on language proposals. We were given praise when we had good ideas, and we were told we didn't have good ideas when we didn't have good ideas. But I found it to be an overall educational experience. I learned a lot from it. I was very appreciative to be part of the process. At the end of the year, last year, I was asked to be part of the Contract Enforcement Committee. I saw it as a chance to continue the work that many rank and file members had put into the contract negotiations. And at first, I had no idea, I'm going to call it the CEC, what the CEC would be doing. But things have gone really well with that group since its inception. The CEC is tasked each month with highlighting a particular clause or subject in the contract and striving to educate the members on how that language can be enforced. This information is sent out. This information is sent out through emails and on the UPS Teamsters app. So if you're not getting that, try to find a way to get the toolkits out there. They're sent out as toolkits. Enforcement of the contract is, of course, encouraged to be applied by the officers and agents at each local, but the stewards and the members are going to be doing the main fighting out there to enforce the language of the contract. I personally think that education of the members is of the utmost importance, and it is my goal and the CEC's goal to educate and give the members the information they need to help them understand the contract language and give them the tools to put the language into action. Each member of the CEC brings a different and valuable perspective to understanding the contract, both existing language and new language. The CEC's goal is that each month's toolkit will highlight language that members will be able to apply and use in their work locations. Some of the new language that was negotiated was done so by members of the Article 43 committee, and some of that language addresses the use of contractors not being allowed to be used if any qualified feeder driver is on layoff. It is now my honor to introduce the chairman of the Article 43 committee, Carl Snodgrass. Carl was instrumental in getting protective language implemented into the 2023 contract. He is here to speak on the effect of the new language and its impact since ratification of the contract. Please take it away, Carl.
Thanks, Dean. Dean was on the committee. We had 6 rank and file on the 43 committee, and we did listen to everybody. The only one that probably had a hard time was Christian, because I kept calling her a guy, and she was great about it. So it's hard to have 10 or 11 guys in there and a lady. So, but she kept us in line, and she had a lot of great input. But Dean's right. We made a lot of progress in the subcontracting. We put in new language. If anybody's on layoff, queue list, anywhere on the on-call board, that you cannot run a subcontractor into your building if they're not working, which was big because, you know, you always have people on call or the queue list. So I know out in 767 to help them guys, it's in your jurisdiction too. So it really broadens. It's just not in your building. So I know that was big. And there's language for the 43 has to be, everything has to go through our committee. And then we approve them or don't approve them. And Friday, my committee and myself, there's 6 of us, we went over every run. We sent Mike O'Connor about 300 jobs are not approved. And they're hauling ground loads, preloads, loads under 400 miles, 150. So we're emailing him that Monday, and then we'll address that we are not in agreement with these. They're running to run, and instead of pulling it empty like they're supposed to, they're pulling loads, which is taking work away from our feeder department. Contract's very clear. If it can be made in the feeder department, and anything under 550 cannot be run by a sleeper team. So they're pretty good. We moved 11 runs back into Roanoke, 9 or 11. I'm not for sure that Greensboro was pulling empties into there. So we're getting them fixed. And like I say, we're working. I'm working with Johnny right now. We're going to send out letters to all the locals, because what the problem is, our drivers need to know if it's not on their LMA, they have to let the BA know. This week, I had Ken Hyde out of Atlanta call me. He pulled a load illegally. One of his teams that contacted him. I contacted Greg in Denver. He's got 70 guys wasn't working that day, so he got them guys paid. We've been helping 710, 638, but it's hard for me to get to everybody. So we're going to have to get all the BAs involved, and it's mainly the drivers. Once they let us know, we got language that either place can charge them for a grievance to get the guy or girl paid. So we've been working on a lot of stuff, and like I say, Dean was very instrumental along with the other rank and file members. And Johnny and I it's going to take a little while, but he's busy. But we are getting a letter to know where all the sleeper teams are, and we'll be getting to everybody. So any drivers that are on the line or BAs, get ready, because we have to let our BAs know to, if you're not pulling your LMA, to let a brother and sister get paid for that, because you're getting paid to pull an empty. So we don't want you pulling a load for free. So other than that, Rob, take her away, buddy.
Thanks, Carl.
Before Rob
Go ahead.
starts, I just want to say from the package division that Carl and his committee are doing a great job. They are doing more than we've seen in a long time, and they're taking the initiative. They're aggressive. They're looking for these runs that should have never been put in the first place, and they're seeking those out. And we are going to work together. We're going to get the locals involved, and we're going to put a stop to this. We're going to implement this language. So I just wanted to say that Carl's doing a great job, and we're going to keep that up. Go ahead, Rob.
Thanks, Johnny. Now I'd like to be able to introduce Paul DeWiggins from Local 135. They're doing some great stuff down on 135, and I'm going to let Paul talk about that as far as Surepost. And I believe they're a model for locals of their size and smaller to around the country to look at what they're doing, and let's get out there and get that Surepost volume. And this is how they're doing it. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate the introduction. My name is Paul DeWiggins. I'm from 135, business agent for UPS. In 135, we have 11 facilities, 4 in the Indianapolis metro area, and then 7 in outlying areas. So it's a challenge to make sure that the company is actually doing what they're supposed to do, which is to make sure that that Surepost volume is back on our trucks when it violates the provisions of the contract. So if you guys probably aren't, I'm sure you are aware of the different sections in the Surepost contract, but in section 4, subpart 1, it talks about the parameters of that Surepost, which is it has to be beneath 2 cubic feet. And then if it's over 2 cubic feet, it goes back on our trucks, or 10 pounds. It's obviously much easier to look on a package and see if it's overweight, if the customer's being honest. But 2 cubic feet's difficult to actually fathom. So I created something for scale. This is 2 cubic feet. As has been previously instructed, it's about the size of a microwave. So that should be hopefully easy for people to identify. Some of our facilities that are smaller, we have clerks that are allowed to redirect these packages. That's a great section from subpart 4 that changed this contract. I'll read it very quickly. The employer shall ensure its employees are made aware of the opportunity to redirect packages in excess of the limit set forth in this section. The company will maintain an exception resolution application to ensure that once a package is identified, a clerk shall redirect the package to the appropriate package driver. No employee shall be disciplined for redirecting the package pursuant to this paragraph. So that's great language that was added this contract to try to combat some of the things that Surepost has been doing to us over the past several years. So we want you guys to know as well that the technology that is talking about the proximity. So that's something the company supposedly is working to correct, but it's still in the beta stages. We've been told not all locations are doing that. So what we encourage everyone to do, if you believe that there's a proximity violation, file a grievance. That gives your steward and the business agent the opportunity to initiate an information request so they understand that we are coming after that volume. In 2024, it has to be 44% of that volume has to come back to us. So we need to make sure that the company is following with that. Some of the things locally that we're trying to do, potentially we're going to buy some tape measure and give to the stewards, and potentially like to give them to all the drivers that have post offices on their route so they can do a quick spot check. There's an app that I put on my phone that has the cubic feet parameters so that you can put that information in. Basically, it's a 15-inch by 15-inch by 16-inch package. That's going to be something that's over 2 cubic feet. So, but not everything's a square. So the best thing that we can do is give the drivers the information that they need. So we're going to try to blitz all the facilities with my homemade box that I've got, and just kind of show them and make them aware that this local is trying to make sure that we get that volume back on the truck where it belongs. So we also need to make sure that all the clerks know how to change the package. We've asked around in our local, and not all the clerks have that information. It should be the same program. 81st Street, where I come out of, they're doing it well. Our clerks are doing a great job making sure that that volume gets back on our trucks. So we're going to blitz the other facilities in the near future to try to make sure that they understand how to do it. If we have to lost time these clerks, take them out. It's the company's responsibility, but we're not going to wait around for them to do the right thing. We will get in front of it and do whatever we have to do to make sure that these clerks understand that this is our volume when it meets these criteria, so that we get that back on our trucks. That's about all I have. I did want to make a quick mention. 135, we lost 2 employees in the past week. One of them was named Phil Gany. I worked with him personally for almost 30 years. And then we had an accident with a feeder driver named Julie Reed. So appreciate all of you that have sent out warmest thoughts and whatnot. It's been a challenge to get through. So we appreciate everything that you guys do, keeping us in your thoughts. So I'll kick it back to Paul Trujillo.
Thanks a lot, Paul. So yeah, before we throw it to you and take your questions, which if you have not noticed, and many of you have, you can go ahead and put in the Q&A section, and we will take the questions and try to get to all of them. If we do not get to your questions, we will go ahead and reach out after to make sure that we are reaching out and getting answers to everybody. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is ongoing trainings, right? You've taken time out of your busy Sunday. You've come out here to join us. The good news is we can come to you. Any of your locals can request contract enforcement training. We'll come out. We have a team of trainers in a program that's constantly evolving in order to meet whatever nonsense UPS is up to at the moment. Obviously, the flavors of the month change, and we've been going local to local, doing these trainings nonstop. Every single day of the weekend, we have 4 and 5 trainers in the field doing these programs. So if you want to see one of these programs, feel free to reach out to your principal officers, your agents, ask when they can have one scheduled, and we're happy to come out there. Let's take a look at a couple of the questions here. Bear with me one moment here. So in relation to the organizing of the UPS administrative specialists, are part-time PDSs and PCSs included? Johnny, are you still with us here?
I am, Paul. So it's package center specialist. That is one of the job classifications. What was the other one? It's PCS and
PDS. The delivery specialist?
Yeah,
I don't know that one.
There's basically a package center specialist, part-time and full-time. There's several classifications. One thing I would just caution everyone, we have found that a lot of these people don't really even know what job classification they are. So we have signed up part-time soups who really thought that they were specialists, and they had been transitioned, several years ago. So we're not saying that we believe the numbers that we get from the company are 100% accurate. We're not that naive, but we're really trying to use those numbers to get those buildings certified. And then once they're certified, we can obviously go after other folks in the building that we believe are doing that work, and we can challenge it either through the grievance procedure or through the MOA and the addendum.
Is there a best practice, Johnny, for signing these up when in doubt? If they're unsure of the classification, should they still go ahead and have them sign a card?
I've been suggesting that people just ask them directly to check their workday profile, check their classification. You know, and we can take issue if they've been transitioned to part-time soups within the past couple of months, because that is really against the MOA. So that would get challenged. Some of these folks have been part-time soups for a while, and I don't know if they didn't know it or they just didn't pay attention. But either way, they're in Workday, they're in the profile as part-time soup. So I would suggest asking them directly to double check before you sign them up, because I mean, look, the NLRA does not protect supervisors, and if a part-time soup or full-time soup signs a card and the company finds out, yeah, they can take action, and they've not done that yet, but I certainly would not put it past them.
And then are OMSs covered under this agreement?
OMSs are not. OMSs were converted to supervisors a number of years ago. Now, I'm not saying there may not be exceptions to that. So just in the end, double check. If somebody wants to sign up and they think they're not an OMS, they think they're some kind of administrative employee, I would just tell them to double check, because OMSs are not in.
All right. Next question. Can you clarify what 9-5 rights mean? The qualifications that get you on the list, and once in the list, you can file whenever you're violated?
Anybody can sign the list. Any driver can sign the 9-5 list. There's no restriction to signing the list, because if you're a cover driver, and different supplements, they're referred to as differently, but if you're a cover driver, a package driver that has no bid, and you cover vacations, you need to have your name on the list, because when you cover a vacation, you work that full week, you qualify for 9-5 rights. If you work 3 days over 9-5, you can grieve that and get paid. You know, if they pull you off a bid, you can grieve that and get paid. So there are situations where a cover driver with less than 4 years seniority can get paid for 9-5s. So you should always sign the list if you're interested in reducing your overtime, or, you know, if you want to get paid, you got to get on the list.
All right. So if a driver doesn't find an overweight or oversized Surepost package until they're out on the route, what are their rights to get that package diverted to be delivered to the consignee or by our package car drivers?
I think the language gives them every right to redirect that to be delivered by a package car driver. I would certainly suggest, maybe insist that drivers notify their supervisor. Please don't just wing it out there on the road. You just notify them either with a message or a phone call that you found this package. It is not a Surepost package, or should not have been in the Surepost system, and you want to redirect it. Make them aware of it. If they tell you can't, I would say follow those instructions, but write down the tracking number, the information off the package, and file a grievance as soon as you get back.
I'd like to piggyback on that if I could, Johnny. I was instructed by the labor manager as well that, yeah, if they have a violation, the company does not want to deliver that package. They want us to let the management team know so that they don't get charged for it. The company says they are getting charged for these packages that do not belong at the post office. So please notify your management team, whether you're on-car soup, your center manager, this package is in violation, and then let them decide. But even if they tell you to deliver it, please take pictures, document that package so that we can get that in the process, in the system.
That's right, Paul.
Brother Paul, one quick follow-up for you there. I've seen a lot of success out of your local. A lot of packages pulled back out and redirected. How are you going about auditing that? What steps are you taking to get people to be proactive about this?
We are actually in the infancy stage. So I've identified a building that's doing it right. The building that I came out of, 81st Street, is doing it right. So we just need to replicate that. So if that means me spending time with the clerks, figuring out exactly what program they're on. I used to be a clerk several years ago, so I know how to redirect packages. But if the system has changed, I'm hearing a lot that potentially it's not as easy as just clicking a button as I used to do and get all that volume back to the package car. So if our clerks can't be going on field trips with us to train the other clerks in the outlying areas, then at least I can know, because I can go anywhere I need to go to make sure that the company is following the process.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Paul, I would just add one thing, and Paul DeWiggins is right. But don't think this company's not billing those customers on the back end when they find those packages, and they're giving them a sweet rate for the Surepost. And when they find those, don't think they're not tacking that onto the next bill. So they have an incentive as well.
All right, we have a question here. Can someone go over the monetary penalty for 9/5 grievances after being paid out 4 times in a calendar year? Anybody want to talk that one through?
I will. So under the old contract, it was triple time. And that's triple time for all hours over 9/5 that week. Not your 3 biggest days, but every hour in over 9/5, every minute over 9/5. If you hit the 3 days, you get paid triple time. Now, once you get paid your 5th penalty, then you should be requesting what most people refer to as an elevated meeting. And that is a meeting of the co-chairs of your regional grievance panel. That has to happen in 45 days. New language in the contract that we got. And after that elevated meeting, which should entail the company chair of the panel directing the operators for that driver not to go over 9/5 3 days again. If they continue to violate the driver, then it goes to quad time. That's also new language that we got in this contract, and Joe Fody and James DeWeese and those guys did a great job in the 9/5 committee. Thank God we got rid of that old chairman that we had. So we got that language. So if they continue to do it after the elevated meeting, then you need to continue to file, but you're going to get paid a heavier penalty, and hopefully that will be a deterrent. That's why we propose to increase it. But that's the way it goes.
All right. So this question is from Brother Bill Davis. What if I work the same route Tuesday through Friday and then a Saturday route with a different route number? Do I have 9/5 coverage?
Are we talking about somebody with 4 years of seniority? Are we talking about?
For this point, let's assume not.
Okay. So Tuesday, if you're a Tuesday through Saturday, I think that in that particular case, you would get it because you're being reassigned on Saturday. So I don't think you get penalized for being a Tuesday through Saturday. And we all know the Saturday routes are not the same as Tuesday through Friday. They change, they broaden, but I believe in that particular case, I think you would have 9/5 rides. I'm not saying the companies will agree, but I'm telling you, that's my opinion.
One moment here. What if they want to punish you for requesting 9/5 and you run over? I mean, you don't finish under 9/5. Can they do anything against you?
Well, I've learned over the years not to say they can't. It would certainly be a
Could
violation.
they be able to? Let's clarify.
They could not legitimately discipline anybody for that. That is, you're protected under the 9/5 language. As a matter of fact, there's retaliation language that says the timing of the event will be considered in determining if it's retaliation. So if somebody comes in, they didn't make 9/5, the company says, well, you ran 2 hours over, which I don't even know what that is, then that would absolutely be retaliation. And anybody that happens to should grieve it immediately.
Hey, Paul, I saw a question here from Jacob Tabachnik. I hope I said that right. He's asking, is there a magic number by multiplying length, width, height of a package to calculate what is over 2 cubic feet? And there actually is, Jacob, and it's 3,456 inches. So like you would measure, like if a package was 5 inches by 5 inches and then 108 inches out, that actually would be under 2 cubic feet, 108-inch package. And that's the tough part why it's hard to eyeball these packages, because they come in all shapes and sizes. But the thing is, if there was a package that was 5 by 5 by 108 inches out, what would be in it, and whatever's in it would, even with just the cardboard and the packaging alone, would probably have to weigh over 10 pounds. So when you get those odd shaped ones like that, that you really might not be able to measure instantaneously, you can make a good faith estimate that that thing might be over 10 pounds at that point. And I had noticed another question, somebody had asked, can we be disciplined for any of this? And hey, as long as you're making a good faith effort to identify these packages, it says right there in the language that no employee will be disciplined for using this language. So you have all kinds of rights to institute there if they would try. And, as Johnny has mentioned, you never know what the company's going to do. They can try to discipline you for everything, but you definitely have the contract on your side on this one.
And I don't believe there's any discipline that would stick if somebody, Rob said it, good faith effort. If you think it's over 10 pounds and it's actually 9 pounds, it's not 12. That's not something that the company can come back and say, that you're being malicious or anything like that. You make a good faith effort. If they don't want to give you a scale where you are, then, that's on them. But hopefully we wouldn't take a 2-pound package to be weighed. That we would know the difference, but just a good faith effort. That's all you got to do.
So a lot of the questions we're getting right now are actually very technical questions. I just want everyone to know that we see these and we'll get back with the specific answers. But they do vary in some of it with your systems. So do look for individual reaching out about that. Rob, are there any other questions on here? You see one more that you'd like to take? Then you want to share some final thoughts here? We're coming right up on 45 minutes. And again, we will be reaching out to everybody to make sure you do get your answers taken care of.
You see, am I unmuted? I think I am.
You are.
I am. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you all for joining. I mean, these webinars, I hope y'all are liking them. We're going to try to get better, and this one was great. I think last month was great as well, and just keep on giving you all the information that we can in this fashion, in addition to getting out in the toolkits that we're sending out to the locals, and that we're focusing on every month with the guidance and the leadership of the rank and filers that we have on the Contract Enforcement Committee. Just want to make sure everybody knows what the language means, how to file the grievances. We'd like to answer these questions, and this is a good way for us to do it. We could talk to you face to face and cut through all the rumors and get right to you. So again, I'll let you get to your Sundays. Thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your Sunday to join this, and thank you to everybody, all the panel of folks that we had on here talking. And look forward to seeing you all next month or next time we do this.